I don't know if you can see it, but it says the little me. Did you see how it says the little me on your ticket?
Mm-hmm. The little me.
Oh no, I'm indecent! Excuse me just a second. Let me just freshen myself up.
Did you bring a fork with you just so you could do that?
And you didn't?
No!
Do you want my dingle hopper?
It actually is rather efficient. I can see why Scuttle thought it was a fork. I mean,
a dingle hopper, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Are you not amused that I drove 35 minutes away from my home with a fork just for this one joke, regardless about how we feel about this movie?
I should have known you were going to do that.
I'm dying here. The minute the credits rolled, I turned to you, and you had that look right now. And the first thing I said was, written by the guy who did the screenplay for Mary Poppins Returned. And you said, that explains so much.
I think what's most... Okay, you know what? We'll start with the positives. The positives.
There's a couple I can name.
Melissa McCarthy was fantastic as Ursula. I did like her as Ursula. I did like her version of Poor Unfortunate Souls. My only critique was that she should have saved the big show-stopping vocals for the climax of the song.
Yeah.
Because I like in the original, there's a build-up to, her singing it.
They alternate because, the lyrics about how men don't like a lot of blabber. It's like...
I kind of get why they cut that out, but at the same time, it's like...
Well, what they could have done, though, is they could have taken a deleted section of Poor Unfortunate Souls and switched it in its place.
Yeah.
Because there is an extended version on the DVD and Blu-ray of the 89 version.
Yeah.
Where there is, certain sections they extended and dropped out. So you could have, replaced with that and would have been fine.
Other positives, I like that they gave Eric more of a background, that they had him be like Ariel in his own way, misunderstood. I like that he has a mother.
An adopted
mother.
Oh, does this mean we're going into spoilers?
Oops.
Ooh.
I'm at a point
spoilers.
where, there's nothing really to spoil, because aside from that, it's practically the same movie with differences a little darker. But positives, Halle Berry was good as Ariel.
I'll let you go first. I'll save mine for after, okay?
Uh-huh.
I'll let you go first, because you got a lot to say, I can tell.
Yeah.
It is right on your face. I'll hold the power to you.
Yeah. So Sebastian was okay. Flounder was okay. Scuttle.
Aquafina is Scuttle.
Yes.
The only thing going through my mind is kids coming home after Memorial Day vacation and yelling on the bus, "Wah! Have you heard the scuttlebutt? Wah!" And the bus driver's going, "Can't we just go back to 1984? It's just Hakuna Matata."
So, yes, that's the positives. God fucking hell, the guy who played Triton.
Javier Bardem.
He needs to go back to acting school. What have I done? What have I done? You are not to see the humans again. I'm acting. There is absolutely no emotion from him. I would say the second half of the movie was better than the first half. The first half just felt very rushed and just felt like a copy and paste of the original movie, just not as good. Second half they had more liberties with, because they added more into it, and I did like that. But overall, and I really, really, really wanted to like this movie, but no.
So on a scale of 1 to 5, how much would you rate this?
1. Maybe 2.
Oh, snap, son!
You gotta keep in mind, I grew up watching the original with my sister. This movie, the original movie is the exact same age as me. Well, actually, it might be... When did it come out in 1989?
December.
Okay, so
Wait, hold the phone. November was going toe to toe with All Dogs Go Down.
Okay, so I'm a month
I had to
older.
think for a split
I'm
second.
a month older than this movie.
Yeah, you were October, the movie was November.
I grew up watching the original movie. Maybe I'm being too harsh by saying a 1 or a 2, but maybe it's just the nostalgia goggles, but, you know, I, I think what pissed me off about this movie was that it had such potential. They did try, but where it counted the most for me, they just messed it up. It's like they should have had someone else play Triton because he really ruined it. Every scene he was in, my eyes would glaze over. That's how bad he was. And
Wow.
I just can't say anything else.
Wow.
I'm still
Oh.
processing what I just watched.
Wow.
But, and I really wanted to
You were really rooting for this one, kid. I was like,
yeah, I know.
I was with it. I was like, all right, I'll treat you out. It's your pick. I'm fine. I'm cool. I avoided every trailer, every song,
and they botched the opening.
I avoided as much as I could. Well, they did that because they get to Ariel quicker, but
I know, but that they rushed the first half of the movie. They just rushed so bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I avoided so much with this one, with the only exception being, is it pronounced Halle or Haley? Because I want to get confused with.
I think it's.
I don't want to get it confused with Halle Berry of Swordfish.
I don't know.
Oh well. So this Halle Berry, correct me if I'm wrong. The only thing I heard of this was her rendition of Part of Your World. That was like the very only thing I listened to. Is that connected to this?
You okay?
It's the most wonderful time of the year for allergies, kids. Once every 4 years, my sinuses go through a change. But no, the only thing I heard or listened to, I tried to avoid trailers which way I could. The only thing I listened to was her rendition of Part of Your World. And I thought, okay, some of the rhythmic beats on some of the wording could have been better if she just hold on to this little part right here, or this little bit right here. It could have been something, but I thought she did a good rendition of that song in general. That was the only thing I saw in full before seeing this movie.
Yeah.
So at least it gave me a little tinge of hope. Going into this, and then just after rewatching the first movie, which still holds up fine, it still holds up really well. There's flaws for sure, but at the same time, it feels like a nice little throwback to animation in general. Just the classic Disney animation like Snow White, Cinderella, and there's like the Chuck Jones, Tom and Jerry style with Sebastian against the chef voiced by Renee Angelbois.
Yeah, they didn't even have that at all in this movie. The chef doesn't exist at all.
Well, then again, if they did, you have to question things like Scuttle eating a fish and Flounder swimming up and going, Scuttle, you ate one of my people. We still cool? I don't think they were going to laugh at that one. This is going to be tough. Okay, so going into this, having watched this movie ever since I was very young, a lot. Ariel was my first waifu. I had like slippers with her head on them, and sometimes I'd turn around and talk to them because I was very lonely.
Okay.
Don't judge me!
That's fine.
Don't judge me!
As long as that's all you were doing with them and not...
I'd be like so bored, be like, hey, what do you want to do? Oh, you want to do that? Okay. Well, I couldn't turn my foot around.
That's okay. I'm not judging.
This was before Crystal from Star Fox, people. Don't judge me.
I had a crush on Captain Janeway, 7 of 9.
Well, when you put it that way.
Buffy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm bisexual.
I think they always knew that.
I know, but for those
who just tune in.
For those who are like, wait a minute, but you're dating him. It doesn't magically go away when you date the opposite sex. It's still there.
For fuck's sake, I'm bisexual too. I don't mind.
And, you know, Andrew Garfield. Nathan
He
Fillion.
redeemed himself in No Way Home.
Well, I liked the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I know you weren't a fan of them, but I love those movies.
I didn't think Andrew Garfield was a bad Spider-Man. I just wish they were better written. But going back on track, seeing this one in that knowledge and play, this movie's fine. It's not the worst thing.
Yeah.
Compared to the last two that I saw, Peter Pan and Wendy and Pinocchio, at least between the three of those, this one insulted my intelligence the least.
Yeah.
There's problems for sure.
You got to keep in mind, I haven't seen many of the live action remakes. Like,
all right. But even then, just looking at it on its own, it's not the worst thing in existence.
No.
There's worse. I've seen far more. I'd rather take this over seeing CGI Pinocchio looking at a pile of donkey doo-doo in the middle of the road.
You got to keep in mind, I'm being harsh about it because it's
on its own terms. There are things that do make it intriguing. I liked Halle Berry as Ariel. She had the expression, personality nailed. Some of the updates they did to her, which were small, I thought were kind of unique. I liked her chemistry with her and Eric.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, we updated Eric. I thought it was just the same character. They just kind of made some tiny updates like, oh, he's an adoptive son and things like that.
Yeah, and he has similar interests to Ariel, which I did like that. And I like that they bonded more in this movie.
I did like some of those scenes, too, when they're, like, sharing some time together and looking at maps and things like that. And even then, in the original film, too, he's all the same qualities. He's more than just a prince. He's looking for adventure. He's a sailor. In his first big scene, he's, like, working with them and stuff like that. And even during the big crash sequence where Ariel saves him, which, by the by, where's the kaboom? There's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom!
Yeah, that scene they kind of messed up with.
Because in the original, it was like something out of an Alfred Hitchcock movie. The dog's on the boat, he's raising the boat. We see the gunpowder and the fire going too, and the fireworks.
You could barely see Ursula.
Oh, I can't wait to dissect that one, a new one.
Yeah, like, they really botched that. Like, Melissa McCarthy was fantastic as Ursula. She really got the character down, like, you could tell that she was a fan. Okay, go on.
I just thought they needed someone who was more like a diva, like RuPaul, or someone that really, really went all out. It felt like an imitation that you'd see in a stage show, but you still have a respectfulness to it. Don't get me wrong, there are some things I like Melissa McCarthy, and I've seen her in, oh shoot, what's that Paul Feig movie that her and Sandra Bullock were in? The Heat. She was good in that one. She was funny because she had someone to play off of who was, like, nice and kind and not too harsh. She can do dramas very well, like St. Vincent. She was like a single mother with a single kid and tries to reluctantly bond with Bill Murray, the washed-up guy next door to them. So it's like, she can be a good actress, but in comedy she can go all out and stuff like that. Here, I don't know, there was just nothing that made me say, yes, this is Ursula. She kind of talks in this gravelly sort of voice like this most of the time, and there's these CGI tentacles, like, laying everywhere across the screen, and I'm just like, I don't know what it was. Like, nothing was really telling me this is on par with Pat Carroll. I just thought this was a par for the course performance. It's not terrible. I just thought there should have been a little more oomph to it. I don't know if it's a directing issue or what. Because I know Melissa McCarthy can be a good actress. So I don't know if it's a staging thing or a directing thing, but it just felt kind of like a flat line to me.
I disagree, but that's just my opinion. I mean,
I
liked her as Ursula.
There were some moments where she's, like, searching for the potions. I was like, where is it? And her tentacles have, like, minds of their own, I guess, just grabbing potions, like, no, that's it. Where is it? Oh, right here. Like little things like that, fine, but the whole thing was just like, I'm on wires, just fly me everywhere, I'm gonna recite lines in the script, but slightly tweak them around, and I am gonna be King Triton's sister, which was originally in the 89 movie, but got cut and resurrected for the Broadway version.
I did like that they included that.
Even that,
but they didn't really do much with that, too, which was
that was
annoying.
My biggest issue.
Yeah, because this movie introduced new things, but then they didn't do anything with it, and I think that's another reason why it just annoyed me so much. Because, criticize Beauty and the Beast all you want, but that was not really a carbon copy of the original. They did make changes to that. They had Belle be more of an inventor. I kind of felt like the original Belle was a snoot. Now, I did like the original Belle, but I felt like live-action Belle was more down-to-earth. And, the big thing about the live-action version of Beauty and the Beast that they changed was that the prince didn't get cursed as a child. And they kind of explain
Yeah.
things, but this movie, it felt like it wanted to do changes, and then it did nothing with the changes.
Especially with Eric's mother, who's like, we cannot anger the gods of the sea. They're in their own little world. And then when they have the big moment where it's revealed that, oh no, Ariel is a mermaid and gets captured by Ursula, she's like, this is the devil's work. This is the devil's work. They're all evil and stuff. And then after the big battle and stuff, she goes on the shore and she's like, no, Eric, you were wrong this whole time. She's part of her. Like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
You weren't there.
Yeah, the ending felt very rushed. And
Oh.
It was so bland.
I didn't mind the ending too much from a writing standpoint, but execution-wise, there's maybe one or two shots that are interesting, like when the merfolk come up and there's like, hey, we're here, we're cool, right? We're just gonna watch it go and stuff. I'm like, from an execution standpoint, it just needed a little more heart.
This is how I felt the ending was. Okay, fellas, wrap it up. Okay, goodbye. Okay, I'm gonna push it off now. I love you, daughter. Bye. The end.
So you're saying, you know what I thought you know what I thought they were gonna do?
What?
When Ariel turns back into a mermaid and reconciles with Triton.
And they didn't even show her turning back into a mermaid.
No, I mean after the fight with Ursula.
No, I know.
And then it cuts to black. I thought they're gonna do like a follow up where they at least try to work out share like merfolk and humans, but don't do the super mega fun happy ending.
Yeah.
I thought that was the direction they're going, which I would have been fine with.
Yeah.
Because then it would have been bittersweet. It would have been closer to the original Hans Christian Andersen tale. Because even they open with a quote where it's like, the first few minutes have this sublimeness to it. You see like the waves crashing. There's this really like gothic look to it. And then you see like the sailors like, oh look, a mermaid. Oh look, a mermaid. Those are dolphins, you idiot. Like, I thought it was going to go in like that direction. Like, that would be interesting if it ended on that kind of note. Yeah. Where it wasn't like super mega fun, happy tailless kind of thing. Like they got to work towards something, but nope. It's, we're going by the cartoon. She got to be a human.
Yeah, but they just botched it. Like they didn't, like when Triton turns her back into a human, they don't even show it.
No, it's just cut away. Let's make it a surprise.
Oh, God, you just can't act. You can't act.
Oh, I'm with you on the same page on Javier Bardem. When he's doing action movies like Skyfall, he still cracks me up. No. He still cracks. You should have been there during Skyfall. He was making me laugh. I was in a theater full of people, and even people were cracking up at the way he was explaining and talking about certain things. I'm like, oh God, is this our Bond villain? Oh no! They were gonna do Bride of Frankenstein with him as the Frankenstein monster. I'm kind of glad they didn't after seeing him in this.
No, he was just so. And what was with the Eric statue? That was like the ugliest thing I'd ever seen. It looked not. It didn't even look like him. I don't
think that was supposed to be the Eric statue, because even Eric mentions they went to different parts of the globe and brought artifacts back. I think that was a stand-in because they didn't want to do the whole like love at first sight thing, and wanted to focus more on Ariel's like intrigue of human lore. Yeah. And that's what upsets Triton, is it's like, they killed my mother in this version, and we explain it and stuff, because in the animated version, she's like, don't understand, Daddy, I love him, but you never even met him. Destroy, destroy, destroy. Instead, it's like, you don't know humans, they pollute our ocean systems with their shipwrecks.
That scene was just such a letdown.
You were right next to me like, oh boy, here it comes.
And it was like, that was it. He just blew up a couple of things, blew up the statue, and that was it. Where in the animated version, he was like freaking scary. Like, she got there before he did, and you just see her being happy, and then you just see him in the background, just as oh my God. And like, right when he's about to do it, the way his eyes were getting lit up.
And the lighting in that sequence, how it turns all like dark and gold. You see the shimmer of his Triton just blasting away like the level of Duck Hunt.
Well, it brings back memories of when you're a little kid and you're in trouble with your parents, and just the pure fear that you felt.
Yeah, here it feels like
not that my parents did not destroy my bedroom or anything. I'm just saying,
The only thing my mother destroyed was Sunday funnies, because she was mad that I accidentally destroyed a kid's starfish once.
And she shouldn't have done that, but I'm not going to judge.
It traumatized me for life.
Yeah.
I don't mean it as a joke. It really did.
I understand.
I learned from that day, do not mess.
At least she apologized for doing that.
She did. 30 minutes later, she went back to my room and actually apologized. And,
yeah, she realized what she did was wrong.
She was frustrated.
So she apologized, so, that's fine.
Okay, back to movie.
But his acting, like, that scene in the movie, it was just so bland. Wooden. And then when she runs off and he's like, oh no, what have I done?
Yeah.
This is legit how he delivered the line. What have I done?
Yeah. That's why I said if they had someone like Pedro Pascal or
Mm-hmm.
someone really operatic, I can see that working.
Yeah.
Even there's an element too with Triton's daughters. It seems like something out of King Lear, where
Yeah.
they're all given like different parts of the ocean to
Yeah,
rule.
which I liked that, but they didn't really do much with that.
No, no, I was hoping like maybe near the end they come back and they use like the powers of the ocean to defeat Godzilla Ursula. Which
Yeah.
by the way, they didn't have to do the Godzilla Ursula ending. That was okay. So in the original 89-minute movie, Ron Clemens and jo- Clemens and Musker wanted to have an ending where it was like a cat and mouse kind of chase
Mm-hmm.
between Ursula and Eric, and there would have been moments of Ariel trying to like stop her and stuff. And so they would have like fought in this grotto and stuff, which is really cool. And there's like this intense scene. It's all storyboarded. It looks really cool. There would have been this bit where Ursula's like freaking drowning Eric in the water, and you see like Sebastian just grabbing the train, go like, "This is heavy, man. I don't know if we're gonna make it." They're like, Eric's like, "See, like, we're trying to reach out of the train." He's like little bubbles just on the surface, just diddling and diddling, diddling. And Ursula's just like, "I'm killing, I'm killing, I'm killing," and then the bubbles just. Bloop, bloop, you see, no bubbles. He's like, ha, 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 I kill him, I kill him. And then Eric comes up with a train, stabs with the chase, like, ah, and then just goes in the water and fizzles in the dust. And then all the little seaweed merfolk are free, and then Triton's free, and then Ariel comes out. He's like, Daddy, I'm sorry, it's okay, Precious, it's okay. Like, I would have freaking loved to see that.
That would have been
That would have
interesting.
been so cool. Like, I know it would have been small scale, but of course, Katzenberg, when they were doing the 89, was like, nah, I gotta make her Ursula more challenging. I know, make her a giant Godzilla monster. I'm like, oh, it's a cool ending in the animated one, you can get away with stuff like that.
Well, in the live action one, they botched it up because you could barely see her. Like, it was hard to
Yeah, her
even
face
see.
was so blurred.
Yeah,
I'm
and
glad I wasn't the only one that noticed
like
that.
they could have at least. One cool thing they could have done, they could have had her eyes glowing because that would have, like, if they kept the face dark, but they had her eyes
The
glowing.
eyes glow in the crown, like,
Yeah, that would have been really cool. And I thought that was what they were going to do. And then when they reveal her, it's like, this is me. I can't see.
It looked like an unfinished effect.
Yeah.
Her face looked like something out of a
Well,
PS2 game. It was so blurry.
they were like, oh, we're on the clock. Wrap it up.
I do like how it's Ariel at the wheel of the ship and Eric's the
Yeah.
one. I was okay with
Woman
that switch
power,
up.
woo.
No, not that, because she spends so much time with Eric. Eric has a
I'm not dissing on
woman
it, but
power. I'm like, no, this alteration makes sense at least.
yeah, but it's also
I didn't mind that. I mean, it does pay off early when she's controlling the horses.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and when they go in the Caribbean beach, not parts of the Caribbean ride village, and there's all the shopkeepers there, and
Yeah, and she just eats a flower. That was funny. Or like when they're trying to bathe her and she tries to eat the soap, and the woman's like, ha, 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 give her some food before she tries to eat it something else.
but it tastes like cheese.
Ugh.
What do you think of the CGI designs of Flounder and Sebastian and Scuttle?
I thought all three were pretty decent. It took me a bit to warm up to Sebastian.
Same.
And I felt like he was really stiff in the beginning, but as the movie went on, he got better. Scuttle,
Yeah.
I prefer the original Scuttle.
Yeah.
I mean, the Scuttle was okay, but it's.
You mean design-wise?
I mean, as a character.
Oh.
Both.
Yeah, but Buddy Hackett was a little more warming.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly Aquafina. It's because there's new talent on the rise.
Yeah, I get it.
I liked her better in Ryan the Last Dragon, because I was worried that Sisu was going to be annoying as hell. Turns out she wasn't annoying in that movie. I actually liked Sisu in that film. It's the main characters I didn't like of Ryan Last Dragon, because they're total idiots fighting over a certain mistake.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Sisu. I'm like, no, these two bickering over an issue? That's just the misconception. I'm gonna get flack for that, but screw it. I'm sorry. I liked Cease was the only thing I cared about in that movie, and the kid with his shrimp boat and everyone else. I liked the main characters in Sisu more than the actual main protagonist. That's besides the point.
Yeah.
What else? How'd you feel about the songs?
The original songs were good. I liked that Ariel had her own inner songs when she was human.
That was
clever. How
I like that.
Because again, like the second half of the movie, I did enjoy because and it was also because they did new stuff with it.
Yeah.
But just the overall execution.
When they got to Under the Sea, did you feel the same I was feeling? Because there's a whole section where Sebastian's like labeling the different fishes, And in the cartoon, you actually see the fish singing and things like that. Here, it's just like a marching of turtles, and it's like,
yeah, that was very underwhelming.
yeah, they could have done so much.
And the weird muscle dance routine that was like, what the?
Oh my god!
That was like, what the fuck?
This movie's killing me.
It was
the mushroom undersea creatures.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. There were kids in that theater, so instead I went with the G-rated joke, like, not since the dancing mushrooms in Fantasia have I seen something so controversial. They look like penises. You think the visual effects department was like, we don't care, we'll just do whatever we want with it. They're supposed to look realistic, so why not?
I mean, the CGI animals had way more emotion than what I saw of The Lion King. Like, I didn't watch The Lion King, but I did see
I agree.
I saw clips of it, and I'm sure if I saw that, I probably would have given this movie a higher rating than what I gave it.
Yeah, thinking about that now, you're right, because there was so many blank, emotionless. They were trying to recapture nature in its prime for an animated film.
But it just didn't work.
Yeah, you have a point. There was definitely a lot more emotion here.
Yeah.
I mean, I still am iffy about the realistic designs of this one, but it's like, yeah. Comparing it to that, hell yeah.
Yeah, and at least it's not ugly Sonic.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I've seen so many of these live-action films to the point where it's so standard that finally I see this one, I'm like, oh, this one isn't as bad as the others. It's like, it's not scraping the bottom of the barrel like so many of them, but at the same time, it's just...
It was wasted potential. It could have been way better than it was.
In one, I liked it a little more than you did, but I still say it's one of those in one year and out the other kind of movies.
Mm-hmm.
The only things that are worth seeing more for me, honestly, is Halle Berry, Prince Eric, Dave Diggs. That's really about it.
Like, when it comes to Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid, the live-action Beauty and the Beast I could rewatch without getting sick of it. This, I'm never gonna watch it again.
Oh.
No. Maybe if Amanda wants to see it, but...
And then suddenly the Skullbuck comes on. No, gotta fast forward this bit. Oh, what's wrong? No, you weren't there, man. You weren't there. My goodness.
I will say, it did have some kind of dark moments.
Oh, Lord.
But with that said, though, it kind of gets undone and takes away the shock value of it. Should we just spoil it?
Yeah, because this is my biggest...
Okay.
This is my biggest gripe, but this is why I did not like the rendition of Poor Unfortunate Souls. Because in the 89 movie, when she sings about Poor Unfortunate Souls, it's a bit of an oxymoron, because she's singing about the souls she's collected in that grotto.
Yeah.
In that grotto. And you see them, the little seaweed, kelp-looking souls of the mermaids, just with their eyes like, oh... I liked those as a kid. They were creepy, but I liked that because I'm like, holy mackerel, this is the devil of the sea.
So Ursula actually kills people in this. They don't turn into kelp people.
There's a body count.
Yeah, she has skulls in her cave, and then near the end of the movie, she legit kills.
I use skulls in all of my decorations.
Yeah,
even there's bones on like the cabinets. Go on.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it now. Holy crap, that's dark.
Anyway, she kills Triton. She electrocutes him to death. You literally see him die. It's a big dramatic moment. And then it gets undone because the Triton floats down, and somehow the Triton has magical revive powers, and poof, he's alive. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. Couldn't he have just used this to revive his dead wife? Stick with the kelp people!
You know what I wanted to do when that happened, when he got revived?
What?
Just lean over you and go, and just lean over to you, just quietly and chant, bullshit, 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 bullshit.
It's like, don't kill off a character and then just to magically bring him back.
Yeah.
It's like, no, just have him turn into kelp.
Yeah, the context of the song worked better in the 89. Again, first, the context of the song worked better because she was singing about the souls she collected. Here, she's just singing, oh, I've had poor unfortunate souls come to me, and we don't see them until she holds a bunch of skulls, and it's like, Ursula, what the heck, you cruel beast? Did you eat these things? So that's why I didn't like the rendition of that number. And also, it lost that build, like you said. And even then, the moment when she takes Ariel's voice out, it looks more like hentai. In the original, it was a patch of hands literally going into her throat, grabbing the voice. And this one, it's a weird dust tentacle that goes in her mouth. Like, oh, the hentai boy's gonna have fun with this one.
Yeah.
But I agree. When Triton gets fried, I'm like, oh, are they gonna do something different where Ariel takes the Triton? She's the new ruler of the ocean.
As they show it floating down, I'm like, this is the voice inside of my head.
Go on.
Just watch, he's gonna come back to life. And then he floats up, and this is me in my head. Oh, how fucking predictable. Shock value gone.
That did not work because there was no build up to it. In the original,
keep him as kelp.
Yeah, because she was binded legally by a contract.
Yeah.
I don't know why they got rid of that.
Yeah,
I guess they want to make it more mystical with the she's bonded by blood. Like, the freaking amnesia plot. They didn't do anything of that. If you just wanted her to not know about the kiss thing, don't give her amnesia. Just don't tell her about it.
Well, that was just pointless anyway, because it's like, why did they include that? It was pointless.
Yeah. It made no sense. Like, oh, I got to forget her that she has to get the prince to kiss her in order she can be a human. Like, if you're gonna do that, just don't tell her in the first place.
Yeah, so dumb.
So then you have Sebastian and Flounder and us going, no, you must believe us and stuff, and she can't speak because her voice is not there. There's so many ways around that scene that could have worked better.
Yeah.
And the changes they make to poor unfortunate the changes they make to some songs like Kiss the Cold, it's just 2 lyrics, only 2.
Yeah.
I like the fact it was a trio, but I don't know, it didn't feel as magical as the original.
No.
I mean, if I'm going to compare and contrast, easily the 89 one wins, because they had a universe and environment to play around with here.
And Scuttle's hilarious version of trying to romanticize the move in the 89 version was just hilarious.
Oh, God, someone should put that bird out of his misery. And he's, like, winking, like, I'm doing good. Oh my goodness, so...
And, like, them being like, oh, Ariel can't know that we're helping her. It's like, why? She was perfectly fine with you guys helping her in the original.
Yeah.
She was aware.
Where did that come
She was
from?
even kind of giving Scuttle, like, a what the fuck look when he started singing.
Were you okay with them changing it from a wedding to an engagement party? Because, oh, she's 16. We can't have her wed this early. We'll just make it an engagement party. It looks like something out of a TLC. Oh, I forgot Grimsby. He was good.
Oh, yeah, he was good.
The small things they added on, I liked how he was, like, protective of the prince. It felt like a perfect transition. They just added, like, tiny extra things. Like, he's his Alfred, in a sense. Like, he's very protective of the prince and helpful. Yeah. Especially near the end, too, and he's, like, trying to knock the ring away from Eric. Like, okay, those bits were fine. At least just being helpful. Like, oh, sir, you ordered us to get all the carriage out to search that mystery woman that's singing, but I think I have one reserved for you. Like, okay, Grimsby, you're cool. I still like the one from the original, but you're cool in my books, too.
Yeah.
The stuff they did with him, I was okay with.
Yeah, and the one from the original, he voiced, Roger from, 101 Dalmatians, I think.
Really?
Yeah, that was Roger.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and by the by, the only 2 trailers we got were Elemental and Wish.
Maybe Elemental. No. I meant to say maybe Wish.
I'm like, wow, you changed your mind about that one fast after Mermaid, honey.
No.
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 Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You did not like the movie. That's okay. Because Wish looked fine in my small little phone, but I see on the big screen, it's like, oh.
I mean, it looks okay.
I can see why so many people are dishing on the animation style.
It's interesting because it looks like it's kind of going back to 2D, but it's still CGI. Yeah.
It's the same style they've been doing for like Spider-Verse and things like that. But
yeah.
I'm open to it.
Yeah.
You know what the funny thing is? I thought they were going to put a trailer for Ruby Gilman Teenage Kraken. Because there is a bit in the trailer, I kid you not, where they like mention about how mermaids are like their enemy and stuff. And Ruby's like, but I thought people love mermaids. Well, people are stupid.
Yeah. I would say this movie would be fine for kids.
I think it's okay. It's not Oscar worthy. It's not a masterpiece. It's
if you're someone that loved the original Though you're
Yeah.
probably not gonna like this.
If you're gonna
Maybe,
if you're gonna
but
if you're gonna see it for Halle Berry, that's the only reason to see this movie, in my opinion.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they were lazy about this movie. It's
No,
just it was such wasted
no.
potential. They could have done so much more, and they just botched it.
The best peak of comparison is the TV movie they did for the Eighth Doctor and Doctor Who. Paul McGann is the savior of that. Like, literally, he's the number one thing to see in that film because he carries that.
Yeah.
He's really charismatic. He makes the character his own. Out of everything in that TV movie, he's the one thing that makes it at least hold together. If I had to compare, Halle Berry is the Paul McGann of this thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to say, if you're going to see this movie just for Halle Berry, just for Halle Berry. Everything else, rent it. If you want to kill 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Look, with the live action Disney reboots, it's getting to a point where it's like, I kind of want to see them do something different. I want to see them do something fresh and new.
Yeah.
If you're going to reinvent these things, fine, but do something different. Don't be afraid to break from the mold and really change things up or go in a different path or direction. That's what I really hope with these. 1996, we had the live action 101 Dalmatians movie with Glenn Close, and that didn't need to be beat by beat by beat. The dogs didn't talk. There was a new character that skinned the animals, which was pointless but interesting. The stuff with Jasper and Horace was changed around a bit, but it still felt like Jasper and Horace.
Yeah.
Ending was a little anticlimactic, but it was still enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, that's how it should be done. If you're going to do the same thing again, change it up a little bit. I mean, really change it up. Don't put in little eye drops of things and say, there, we're done. We don't need to change the things. No, wait, we don't need to change the thing.
Yeah.
Like, really make it special, make it unique. You're transitioning from a two-dimensional or three-dimensional element to a full 3D environment. And the fact they got more in the pipeline, like Lilo and Stitch and Moana, it's like, oh, here we go again. Like,
Moana came out not that long ago. Why are they doing a live action remake?
The Rock confirmed it, and he's gonna play Maui.
But he already was.
You're welcome.
It was already Maui. It hasn't even been a decade since that movie came out.
Oh, they're already filming Lilo and Stitch, and there's been production problems.
Well, Lilo and Stitch is fine because that's still an older movie, but
they had to recast Nani's love interest for reasons.
Okay,
I'll leave it at that. Reasons.
Yeah, but
my phone's at low battery. I would explain why, but it's like no.
Yeah. Well,
no,
I think
that
that pretty much wraps this up.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, and in a more optimistic note, like, at least we still got the animated ones.
Yeah.
I mean, there's. I still turn to those more often.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple I still love. Fox and the Hound, Great Mouse Detective. Like, those to me are still magical, not because I've seen them when I'm a kid, but there's just something timeless about them. Are there flaws? Yeah, but then afterward you sit back and go, whoa, that scene was cool, and that scene was cool, and the way they really played around with the scenery and the characters, there's something so memorable. This one, it's just gonna either do great and then come and go, or it's just gonna do mediocre and come and go. Look, I can't predict if this movie's gonna be a hit or not. It's really up to the public, and in my opinion, the big success is how much 10 years or 15 years now you're still talking about this particular version. And to be honest, at least it brought the 89 movie back in the limelight. That's the important thing.
Well, hopefully, if you guys watch it, you'll enjoy it more than I did.
I thought it was okay, but as a matinee, that's the best way I can recommend it.
Yeah.
I didn't I was a little nicer on this one because of after how much I've seen. That's just the best way I can explain it. Hell, Peter Pan and Wendy insult my intelligence more than this. There's psychologically intriguing, and then there's psychologically disturbing. That movie's psychologically disturbing.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Talking about those movies making me lose my voice. All right.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for watching, guys.
Yep.
We'll see you next time.
Be nice in the comments section. Please. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Plain and simple. You eat a sandwich, you spit it out if you don't like it, you swallow it if you do like it. Plain and simple. That's the way it was meant to be.
Yeah.
And then the internet happened.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, everybody.